Hello, friends. It's Cody, and I am going live. I'm actually testing out this live software. I wanted to start building something actually on YouTube because I know you can build big audiences there. And the problem is, I only have like maybe like 300 YouTube followers, so I have a lot more on Facebook. And even though Facebook was punishing me for inciting violence towards Karl Marx, I they also rewarded me. So I was in Facebook jail for like 30 days, but they also rewarded me by giving me a professional account, which means I have access to a lot of analyticals. And while they told me they were suppressing my account and my post, once I switched over to the professional account, I was actually getting more interactions than I was, even though I was being apparently suppressed by them. So they were giving me the stick and the carrot at the same time. So I had this idea. I follow a lot of people on YouTube that talk about kind of the comic book industry, actually, which it's not so much that I'm into the comic books. I just like listening to them rant about things. But some of them use their YouTube channels to market their comic books because they're independent, and I wanted to start doing that with my own efforts, my own books. Now, what I'm not saying I'm going to do is go online and spend an hour live saying buy my book. And by the way, did I tell you you should also buy my book? But I thought it'd be fun because I have a lot of authors who are friends now, which I'm very excited about. Some of which are people that are my heroes. Some of them are my people that I have helped out to get their first book published, and everybody in between. And so I listen to a lot of podcasts and listen to a lot of YouTube channels as well, where they talk about the business. They talk about writing and publishing and marketing, all that kind of stuff. And so I thought it would be fun to do that and not only come on here and talk about what I've been doing, but also bring some other people on. Like, for example, I just got done talking to Lloyd Elmore Jr. Lloyd and I have been friends for a few years now. He is a guy, a prolific writer, who had a lot of a back catalog of things that he wrote that he over the years, and was saying, he'd come out and get his book signed by me, and he says, yeah, when he says I want to get my book uh, published, I'm like, dude, you just need to do it now. So I helped him get through that, take him through the Amazon KDP program, and anyway, he does some live streaming too, so I'm gonna have him on. He's got a lot of good insights with the things that he's doing. And another guy that I helped get his first book published, Dave Treadway. And David, I'm so sorry because I always call you Treadwell. It's David Treadway. David Treadway's got a great book out there. It's called um, One Apple, One Orange for Christmas. It's the true story about a British woman who was a captive in a German, I don't think, not a concentration camp, but a German POW camp, and her real story. But anyway, I thought it would be interesting to bring in other authors, and just, we could come on and we could talk about our books, and not just like, hey, buy our books, but also just like, what we're doing and what we're learning and what's working for us or what's not working for us. So I'll tell you this, um, the big news, I won't bury the lead. My new book. Let me see if I can pull it up. And eventually, I want to learn how to. Um, I want to learn how to. What is it that I want to learn? I want to learn how to pull up things on my screen. I want to be able to couple things. I want to be able to uh, show you things, bring them up, share my screen. But the way they have it right now, it looks like you have to like start it that way and then you can't switch back to you on camera. So I'm learning how to do that. They also say there's a way that you can um, use your iPhone, because I don't like this camera because it's low, and I'm a very vain man and I don't like being shot from low. But anyway, I want to say that my book, this is so because I can't actually share a screen, I'm just going to show you this. So this is my latest book. It's my fourth novel, and if you've read my trilogy, this novel is about the parents of Carl, one of the main characters in my trilogy, how they meet, fall in love. There's a little bit of a love triangle going on there. How they meet, fall in love, run away together, go on this big grand adventure that ultimately takes them to the Mexican American War. This book is coming out this Friday, and I have done. Let's see. This is my key rate frame is too low. I don't know what it wants me to do. Okay. We'll, we'll look into that later. Anyway, this comes out Friday, and well, now it's taking me all over the places. All right, this is coming out Friday. I'm doing a pre-order right now. The pre-order is only $1. It's going to be for the digital version. It's going to be $4.99 when it's up to full price. And the reason why I do that is because not a lot of people like to do pre-orders, especially if they don't know the author or have read other things. So I am pushing that with my advertising on Amazon, and of course with all the people who do know me. And I've been doing pretty well. But anyway, the thing is that in order to do the pre-order, you have to have everything done and finalized 3 days before the launch. And so that moment was 6 p.m. apparently today was the cutoff. So I got all the editing done. I sent it to my two editors and made all the corrections and changes, and then read through it myself one last time and made some even more changes, and then finally uploaded my final version of it today, with about 3 hours to spare, and then went there and watched the little countdown, the clock count down to 0, and now I'm completely locked out. So it's like being on a roller coaster where when you get in the roller coaster and the arm comes down, you're locked into the car, and it starts moving, and there's no getting off. That's where I am right now. With the digital, with the print books, I have there's going to be a paperback and a hardback version. Um, and I'm waiting for those to be approved. I've also uploaded the manuscript for those. You have to what do you call it? Format them for the 6x9 template, and then make sure everything lines up. And you have to make sure that you have to build a table of contents with the actual page numbers on it and all that. It's very tedious work. And I got those all done today too, and those have been uploaded. And it's going to take up to 72 hours. Typically, with the print books, it usually takes about 12 hours for approval. And once I get that approval, those are going to be live, and you might actually be able to order those before Friday the 25th. I will be getting in a box of 20. I usually get buy boxes of 20 of the author copies. Those are what I use when I go and I sell books. You see me go to like events where I sell books. That's what I do. I get boxes of 20. I have a couple of people who, Mike Ward and Royster, are two people who always want an autographed copy. And usually I don't really say anything. It's just some people will say, "Hey, how do we get an autographed copy?" And I say, "Okay, well, this is what you do." And I sell them for the same price to Amazon, because I don't want to undercut them. And then just I think $3 to ship it. But I decided this year, or this time around, not only am I going to be sending them their signed copies, but I'll let people know that, I guess I'm doing it right now, that if you want a signed copy from me, you can order them directly from me. We do it through PayPal, but we can do it however works for you. And I get them in the mail right away. I don't build my business on direct sales, but I do it because it does help. There's the money, yes, but it's also about every time I get a physical book out there into the world, it becomes kind of like a calling card. So somebody may read Rampage on the River and put it away, and 10 years from now, someone finds it on their bookshelf, reads it, and says, "Wow, I really like this," and goes and buys the other books. And by then, hopefully, I'll have quite a few. I'm about to publish my fourth book. I guess I kind of have. That's coming out. So I'm hoping, and here's the deal, man. I'm going to be writing for the rest of my life, and I'm hoping that's going to be a very long time. I'm writing now. This book, I wanted my first book. I got spoiled because it was short, and I wrote it within like 9 months, and I was able to do like a book a year pace. Rampage on the I'm sorry, Blood for Blood took me about a year and a half, and so they're both big books though. They're both, Blood for Blood is 119,000, and Mexico My Love is 124,000. So they are long books. Um, and so far, I've been able to get a book out every calendar year, but I might not be able to get a book out in 2023. We'll see. We'll see. It's not a race. I'd rather put out epic, uh, well written novels than put out, very quick novels that are just nothing more than formulaic content. So the next book that I will be writing, and here's the timetable. So Ramp Mexico My Love comes out Friday, and just in time for Christmas, and then I will spend about a month kind of just relaxing a little bit, doing some research and some outlining, and then my program, or the way I kind of set it up, is that 1 month from the day I publish is when I have to start writing the next novel, and I've been staying true to that. In fact, I think I started the last three um, um, sooner than that, but I'll give myself a month to kind of decompress, and then I will be starting to write my fifth novel, which is going to be right now. It's the working title. It might change, but it's going to be called The Prussian Prince, and I'll start writing that December 25th. It just so happens to be Christmas, but that's because Mexico My Love is coming out in November the 25th, this Friday. And if you want to get it right away and start reading it, the best thing to do is get that pre-order. It's only $1, and what it does, it helps me because Amazon has an algorithm, and it looks to see how much interest there is for a book, and your book is constantly going up and down in rating depending on how many people are reading it in Kindle Unlimited, how many people are buying it, and all that, how many pre-ordering. So every time it pre-orders, it rises in rank, and then if it goes for a while without pre-orders, it starts dropping. And why that's important, other than ego and vanity, is because Amazon starts showing it to more people if they think it's a winner. See what I'm saying? So if you have a pre-order, and some people, there's a guy named Dave Chisholm, and he runs an agency called Kindlepreneur, where they teach authors marketing. He says don't do it. He says don't do it because unless you're famous, have a loyal reader base, or have an excellent marketing plan, then it can hurt you more. Oh, look, some people are. Okay, so I didn't even see that I had comments. It's because I'm so busy looking at myself. Okay. Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you, Fred, for watching. Fred Melton. Um, I don't know why I can't have that in the same picture, but I'm learning. And this, by the way, this is a practice run. So if you're, no, I don't want to end that. So if you're like, wow, this really sucks, it's because I want to do a live party like I've done before with Laura, and I just want to kind of practice how to set this up and see how it works before I. Um, uh, let's see. Okay, there we go. This is good. This works better. Now I can see if I have comments there. Um, what was I going to say? We're going to do Laura and I are going to have a launch party, maybe Friday. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. God, what was I talking about? See, I'm going to listen to this later on. I'm going to be embarrassed because I completely got mind erased by trying to fix this problem here. And I hope the quality is okay. I keep getting this warning that the key frame rate is too low, which I don't know what that means, but we'll find out when we look at it. Anyway, we were talking about what happens next. So yeah, the Prussian Prince, I'll start writing that at the end of December, and that will probably not come out till 2024 in the spring, unless I get moving quickly. Oh yeah, I was talking about pre-orders. Pre-orders help. Um, so you can really get behind the eight ball. So Dave Chisholm from Kendallpreneur says, don't do it because unless you get a lot of them, it can actually bury your book in the algorithm. And so when it launches, you don't get a lot of it's not being shown to as many people as it could be. But then I talked to the people over at I think the Author Ad School, and I didn't talk. It wasn't Brian Cohen, but it was some of his people told me, "Hey, go ahead and do it. You got nothing to lose, and you got everything to win. Why not start making getting pre-orders?" And so I'll tell you this: I did pre-orders with Blood for Blood. Didn't go so well. I did pre-orders for Mexico. It's been going okay. I mean, I don't regret doing it, but I'm going to keep doing it. And like I said, David Chisholm says don't do it unless you're famous, have a loyal reader base, or have an excellent plan. And I said, well, I kind of have a slice of all three of those, just a little bit. And it has been going better, so we'll see. I'm a little nervous, to tell you the truth, because I know that Blood for Blood did really well, and when it came out, all my books started selling even more so. So we'll see. It's a little different from what I've written. This is not, yeah, there's plenty of war and battles, but this is a romance novel. And it's the lead character is a woman, so it's a little different for me from the trilogy, but it's connected to the trilogy. I mean, you're gonna if you've read the trilogy, it's about Carl's mother and how she meets his father and what happens. So what else is going on in my calendar here? So uh, Sunday, I have to go out of town, but before I do, I'm going to march with the Sons of Union Veterans. I am a son of a Union veteran. My great great grandfather, Gustav Engdahl, fought for the 43rd Illinois Infantry, a German speaking unit, even though he was Swedish. And we do this really neat thing to commemorate the Battle of Franklin. Now, the Battle of Franklin is featured in my third book, Blood for Blood at Nashville. We spend two whole chapters on it. And it's really cool. What we do is the Union guys, we meet at Pinkerton Park and we march up to the Carter House. And right there on Columbia Pike. Yeah, Columbia Pike or the Franklin Pike, depends on which way you're driving. And we stand there and salute as the Sons of the Confederates come down from Winston Hill, and they march past us. Now I've been to it a few times. I bring my fiddle and I play Dixie for them, and they go nuts. Um, and But when we march, I always have to march in the rear of the formation. And there's not a lot because trust me, there's a lot more Confederate Sons of Confederate veterans than there are Union veterans here in Tennessee, and a lot more Confederate reenactors than Union reenactors. This year, I've been chipping away at getting a uniform, so I'm going to show you what I got here. And no, I'm not going to take my shirt off, Runny, but it is hot in here. I got this jacket. Oh yeah, so if you don't have a uniform, you're going to march in the back. But this year, I'm going to have a uniform. Now my grandfather or my great great grandfather was a sergeant. I am going as a captain because got a college degree, so I'm an officer. So I got this my captain's jacket. I'll be wearing this. Playing my fiddle. It's going to be 60 degrees, so I don't play my fiddle outside if it's under 50 because it's too cold. Not because for me, it's because the strings get too brittle and they just don't sound right. It's hard to play into. So I got this, and then I went to the I was in Martin, Tennessee, for work, and there was a place called Dixie Gunworks, I think, and great place, a lot of like relic guns and things like that. And I finally got a Cappy hat. So here we go. There is my. Thank you, Rudy. Thank you very much. So proud of you with your writing. Love your subject matters. Thank you very much, Rudy. I hope you like the book that's coming out, Mexico, My Love, because I think it's my best yet, and there's a lot in it. It's not only the Mexican American War, but the Franco Moroccan War is in it too, which I was surprised that I got into it, but it was so interesting that I wanted to include it. And what they call the conquest of California, because a lot of people don't realize this, but one of the theaters of the Mexican American War was California, and there was a quite a bit of combat that went on there and some very interesting stories. So I got this hat, and then I got this little guy here for my stand. Now I do have toy soldiers, and I got Confederates too, because I love everybody. But because my series is about Michigan Cavalry, I need a little Union Cavalry guy, a little sergeant here with his sabers. I think cute. So we got that, and then I think the following weekend, I am. It's gonna be really busy for me because we have the Franklin show, the Franklin Civil War show. So I will be going there. I volunteered to help man the Sons of Union Veterans, and I mean it's for my own selfish reasons because they let me sell my books there and play fiddle for tips. So I'll be going there Friday to help set up. I'll have to miss Saturday because I'm going to be playing with Paul in Clarksville at there's a flea market there. I'll post it if you want to come out to it. We're going to be playing not just old time fiddle music, but also going to be playing Christmas. We do a whole Christmas program. And then we're going to get done with that, and then we're going to drive to Sumner County to Goodlettsville to Mansker Station, and we are going to do uh, Yule Fest, and that's in the afternoon and evening. I will share that. In fact, that is on my profile page. So if you go to my profile page, you'll see the thing for Yule Fest. I think it might be free. Some of them are paid, but I think that one might be free. But Paul and I will be there as well, and we're inside the fort. And they got multiple music acts in the different buildings. So Paul and I are just one of the music acts, and there's some really, really great acts that come there. There's a bluegrass band from Kentucky. They're in one building. I can't remember their name, but there's a woman who plays fiddle and her husband plays guitar. They're going to be in another building. They do a great job. Come by and see us. So I'll be too busy to be doing the Civil War show on Saturday, but then on Sunday I'm going out, and I told our commander, uh, Chip, that I would be there all day to man the table so that the other guys can have the day off. So that's next. No, that's the following weekend, right? And then I think I'm pretty much clear all the way into the new year. There is some. I'm looking at my calendar right now. There is some. In fact, this will be easier. I have a list of all my gigs coming up here, and let's see. I got it under set lists. Yeah, so we have the Franklin March on the 27th. On the 30th, which I think is Wednesday, now this is an unofficial thing, but they do this thing called the Luminaries because what happened was the Confederates marched down at sunset from Winston Hill and hit that federal line that was right there at the Columbia Pike and right where the Carter House and the Lodes House is. And it was one of the bloodiest battles of the war. And and so what they do on the actual anniversary, which this year's going to be Wednesday the 30th, they light luminaries. Now I've gone out there uninvited and played fiddle tunes, and they loved it. And in fact, I did that one time, and then got invited to do one of their dinners for the donors. I forgot what it's called, but it's the people it's the Franklin Battle Trust. I did their one of their dinners for them. So that is going to be the 30th. And then, like I said, the following weekend, Clarksville, and then Yule Fest on Friday, and then the Middle Tennessee Civil War show all day Sunday. In March, I am very excited about this. There's a man named Dr. Curtis Fields. And Dr. Fields he's a reenactor. He does an excellent Ulysses S. Grant. I mean, you think you're talking to General Grant when you're with him. Looks the part, acts the part. He's a wonderful guy. He recommended me to the what is it? It's the Illinois Symposium, and that is in. Let's see if I got that written down. When is that? Um, hmm, I don't know when that is. I think it's in. I think it's in. Oh, here it is. That's the 28th and the 30th. It's in Quincy, Illinois, and I'm going to be one of the speak. Actually, I'm right after the keynote speaker, and I'm doing my Civil War through fiddle tunes, and everybody likes that. I just did it actually. Was it last Thursday? Yes, Sons of Confederate Veterans, the James R. Chalmers camp in Germantown, Memphis, Tennessee. That was kind of like an impromptu one. We've been throwing around different dates, and we had left that one kind of open because I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it because of work. And I called them Monday, and I said, "Do you have a speaker?" And they're like, "No, we'd love it if you could come." And so I said, "I'm there." So I used my points because I the work I do makes me stay in hotels a lot, so I get points for staying in hotels for work. So then I use those so when I have to stay the night to do a a Civil War show or a book talk or whatever. So uh, I went out and did that and sold a bunch of books, and that's great because those guys, and I got this all out of order, but those guys, they give me a table at the Mid South Military and History Civil War Show the first weekend of March. That's in Hernando, Mississippi, just south of the border, just south of Memphis. In fact, it's practically a suburb of Memphis. So I'll be doing that first weekend of March, and so that's it. That's what we got on the schedule. Of course, the whole time I'm going to be writing. Um, Starting in December and starting next year, basically, I'll be writing the Prussian Prince. So I'm going to leave it at that. Hey, thank you everybody for tuning in. This was kind of a practice run. Laura and I are going to go live. I'm not quite sure when. I think we're going to do it Friday. And that's kind of been the ritual now. We've done it for every single book. We didn't do it for the two nonfiction books, but we did it for Rampage on the River. We did it for Perils. We did it for Blood, and now we're going to do it for Mexico, My Love. And so we hope you can join us for that. And we're going to try to bring people in if we can. And that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. And I love you guys. Thanks for paying attention to me. And keep reading, even if it's not my own book. And by the way, you want good recommendations? I started a group. I don't push it on people. I just want things to grow organically. It's called Engdahl House of Readers and Writers. A lot of my friends who are authors, I'll share their posts there a lot. So there's a lot of things. It's not just me. There's other people's and other genres too. Science fiction, horror, romance, you name it. So anyway, we'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in, and I love you guys. Have a great and safe, of course, great and safe Thanksgiving. I know I'm going to, and we'll see you soon.